that has put it as its front, as its facade. It could be the Jaish, it could be the Lashkar, and they believe that Pakistan and the ISI definitely have a hand to play. But the people there who have gathered, the friends, the family and the locals have some very big and unresolved questions there. In fact, there was some sloganeering as well at the funeral, which is being attended by all these members of not just the family but the entire community, with not grief, not just support but anger as well, because with all the reassurances that they've been receiving from the centre, in fact the situation has turned even more dangerous for them since 2019. Going across to my colleague Tejinder Singh Sodhi, who brings us those questions that are being asked by the locals. Tejinder, there was a sense of feeling that the situation for Kashmiri pundits would improve. Their plight was being highlighted by our movies, it was being highlighted by the centre, but the promise
पार्टी करना क्या चाह रही है? गुजरात में हार का डर इतना सता रहा है, रातों की नींद हराम हो गई है भाजपाइयों की। उनके पास एक काम है सिर्फ, कैसे आम आदमी पार्टी के नेताओं का उत्पीड़न करना है, जेल में डालना है।
शराब बंदी करूंगा, मैं शराब बहुत बुरी चीज है, शराब पीना बुरा है। सरकार में बैठे तो एक्साइज पॉलिसी बना करके बस मोहल्ले मोहल्ले तक पहुंचाने का इंतजाम कर।
Good evening. You're watching the Sunday edition of the explosive weekend debate with me, Poonam Burde. Now, the Delhi excise policy continues to haunt the Aam Aadmi Party and the Delhi government. Delhi's Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia was served summons by the CBI today for him to appear before them at 11 a.m. tomorrow. Now, Kejriwal's deputy Manish Sisodia was named as accused number 1 in the FIR that was filed in this particular case on the 17th of August. He has been raided in the past. His bank lockers have been checked in the past, but this is the first time that he has been summoned for questioning. He is also the first politician who will be examined by the agency despite there being several arrests in the case. Now, Manish Sisodia was quick to offer his full cooperation to the agency, but not before reminding them that there was no proof that was found against him during any of those raids. Truth shall prevail, he declared on social media. His colleague, his close aide and the Chief Minister of the National Capital likened Manish Sisodia to modern-day Bhagat Singh. No jail time would deter his intentions, tweeted Kejriwal. He said, after 75 years, the country got an education minister who has given good education to the poor, and that's why he is being targeted. Well, the Aam Aadmi Party is putting up a brave face, but the political ramifications of this could be big. And that's exactly what the BJP is hoping to encash in on. Listen in to how the political fireworks played out.
केजरीवाल जी की सरकार रही, उस सरकार ने किस तरीके से यहां पर घोटाले पे घोटाला किया है। आज केजरीवाल की सरकार घोटालों की सरकार बन गई है। केजरीवाल, तुमने दिल्ली का किया बेहाल और तुम्हें अब जाना होगा और यहां पर भारतीय जनता पार्टी को आना होगा। इस बात की हमको तैयारी है।
भारतीय जनता पार्टी करना क्या चाह रही है? गुजरात में हार का डर इतना सता रहा है, रातों की नींद हराम हो गई है भाजपाइयों की। उनके पास एक काम है सिर्फ, कैसे आम आदमी पार्टी के नेताओं का उत्पीड़न करना है, जेल में डालना है। मैं बीजेपी के नेताओं से साफ तौर पे कहना चाहता हूं, तुम्हारी इस हताशा में की गई कार्रवाइयों से, ये जेल में डालने से आम आदमी पार्टी के नेता डरने और रुकने वाले नहीं। आम आदमी पार्टी और भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सीधी टक्कर है गुजरात में, और गुजरात का चुनाव हम लोग जीतेंगे।
Now, before I open this up, I just want to put this in perspective for our viewers. Why exactly this is important? It's very much a litmus test for the Aam Aadmi Party, for Team Kejriwal. There are at least 5 specific reasons why that is the case. The first big reason is that Arvind Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party began their political journey on the anti-corruption plank. So, for them to be above board as far as corruption and graft is concerned is extremely important. Reason number 2 is the Aam Aadmi Party actually rode to power on the promise of clean governance here in the national capital, then in Punjab as well. Reason number 3 is that even Aam Aadmi Party's chief, Arvind Kejriwal, his own mentor, someone he worked with as far as India against corruption was concerned, his mentor Anna Hazare has in the recent past raised several times of how there is lack of transparency and how Arvind Kejriwal has been going back on his promise. Reason number 4 is that a top minister in the national capital, Satyamev Jayate, is in jail. There are several other MLAs of the Aam Aadmi Party that are under the scanner of multiple agencies. And the biggest reason as far as the political ramifications go is that at least in 2 states where Aam Aadmi Party hopes to make a dent politically, they go to elections not too long after. So there is a lot at stake for the Aam Aadmi Party. There is also a lot at stake for its political rivals. Is this questioning and the summons to Manish Sisodia political, or is it about probity and propriety? To discuss that, BJP spokesperson Harish Khurana now joins me on this broadcast. Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson Priyanka Kakkar also with me. Senior editor of Swaraj magazine Tushar Gupta, Akil Khan, political analyst, and Umesh Sehgal, former chief secretary of Delhi, also joining me on this broadcast. But I'd like to begin with you, Priyanka Kakkar. Why link it to elections? The probe in this case has been on. The FIR was filed on the 17th of August. Several arrests have been made so far. Several people linked to the Delhi government. It's due course of action, some would say, that Manish Sisodia, who was the man in charge of this particular policy, which now stands withdrawn, be questioned.
Good evening to all of you. Why this is linked with politics is because, Manish ji had several roadshows lined up till the end of October in Gujarat. And that was to hamper those roadshows, because even today we saw in Bhavnagar, we saw about a 75,000 plus crowd in Bhavnagar in Gujarat. And we are seeing the ramifications here in form of this policy. This is a very progressive policy. When implemented in Punjab, it has earned a revenue of 4,000 crores in the first 6 months of implementation. Also, the rhetoric of the BJP is laughable. Why I say this is, they want to manage the optics and call Aam Aadmi Party a corrupt party as the BJP. And why I say this is because, after giving our citizens in these times of high inflation, after giving our citizens free electricity, free water, free school, free education, free Buzurgo Tirth Yatra, free bus yatra for women, we are still presenting a surplus budget, and our inflation compared to all other states in the country are controlled at a 4%, whereas in Gujarat, for example, it is double inflation than Delhi. It is at 8%. So that is the problem, which is a corrupt government, a government which is able to give so many services free to its citizens and which has implemented the same policy in Punjab and earned a revenue of 4,000 crores.
Before I get in the BJP spokesperson in, I just want to ask you one question. Because you cite the example of Punjab and how it has been a success there, then why did you withdraw the policy in Delhi?
We had to withdraw it owing to several reasons. There were certain conditions imposed just on the last date when the policy was to be implemented, which could not be fulfilled by people who had already submitted, been successful in the auctioneering process.
So it was just technicalities. So it was just technicalities. There was nothing amiss.
Yes, and the same policy is in operation in Punjab, and we're earning a revenue surplus. There are already 4,000 crores we've earned in the first 6 months. There is no bigger proof.
Right, so it was just technicalities, which is why it was withdrawn. The fact that it actually is a success in Punjab goes on to show that everything was above board. Harish Khurana, do you buy that argument?
See, every time when they have been questioned or some radar has been taken in CBI, they hide it behind the Bechara politics and always say there's a victim card is playing on. My question directly to the Aam Aadmi Party people, the same rhetoric was being said when Satyamev Jayate has been arrested. Himachal elections, he has been made a Prabhari, so BJP has got afraid. Since last 4 months, he has been arrested, he has been jailed by the order of the court, not by the order of CBI or any ED. Point number 1. Point number 2, you're right, your government clean government has gone for a toss, actually for a toss. And anti-corruption is just a myth now. The reason behind what I'm telling you is the reason is one of the ministers, Mr. Satyamev Jayate, is in jail. Second, one of the top minister who had a serious allegation on a liquor scam. In spite of giving an answers, they go to Gujarat, they go to Himachal, or they talk anything else, but not about what the liquor scam is and what the people are asking the questions. Questions are, point number one, when the wholesale business was not been allowed to give to the private sector, why have you given to a private people? Point number one. Point number two, when business should be given through lottery system, why have you given to your liquor mafia friends? Third, and the most importantly, when the wholesale commission was just 2%, why have you raised to 12%? This is a clear-cut case
Right.
of corruption.
So, three specific questions there being put by the BJP. And before I open this up, quick rebuttal, Ms. Kakkar.
I will see when he spoke about why is it from 2 to 12%, we are now taking a hefty license fee from the vendors instead of taking any money on the sales. The previous policy was that, depending on the sales, you were supposed to give to the government, and there was a lot of corruption in the system. So to remove that element of corruption, we made sure that we take a hefty license fee first, and we don't take 2%, we take that 12%, like he says, and then we don't take any money in the sale. We have no business in the sales of the liquor. One. Secondly, if it is about liquor, the question must be asked of BJP, don't they see the 10,000 crore liquor trade being illicitly run in Gujarat in a dry state? How is that happening? If they're so bothered about liquor and they're so bothered about the liquor policy, what is happening in Gujarat? There is no policy. People are dying of spurious liquor, so no question should be asked of them.
Can I revert for truth?
Yes, Mr. Khurana, go ahead. Yes.
She has not understood what BJP is asking. Wholesale commission was just 2%. You have raised it to 12% because 6% has to be given in cash to by those liquor wholesale mafias.
Try answering on Gujarat. No, how is it running a illegal trade with the 10,000 crore in Gujarat?
Why are you getting panic?
I'm not getting panic, sir. I'm asking you a question because there's no debate on this.
The whole country.
Please answer. The CBI can't see
I need your intervention, ma'am. Poonam, I need your intervention. I'm not spoken in
right. So questions, answers, they're coming in from both sides. Allegations, counter allegations.
See, just 10 seconds.
Yes, go ahead.
She's not giving a specific answer, and she's talking about Gujarat. Arey Baba, we are talking over here about the debate on liquor scam in Delhi. Every time when we
right, and it's interesting that Gujarat keeps coming up, Tushar Gupta, isn't it? Because yes, there are elections around the corner, and yes, the Aam Aadmi Party is going all out there, wanting to be the kingmaker or someone who pushes the Congress out of the picture, at least as far as electoral politics is concerned. It's also interesting how the Aam Aadmi Party says that it's not just the summoning or questioning of Manish Sisodia tomorrow. He's going to be arrested. It somehow seems that they're banking on him being arrested so that they can ride the sympathy wave as far as Gujarat is concerned.
Good evening, Poonam. Poonam, I've always believed that the psephologists of the Aam Aadmi Party or the psephologists they consult probably come from another universe, because in 2014 they were supposed to win 400 Lok Sabha seats. They won 4. In 2019 they were supposed to emerge as the kingmakers. They won a single Lok Sabha seat, which they recently lost. So I don't understand where this entire argument of AAP becoming the kingmaker in Gujarat comes from. To be a kingmaker, you need to be at least a pawn on the chessboard. Aam Aadmi Party is nowhere. It would be a great optimism from me if I said they'll at least hit a 10% vote share. So this thing all about Gujarat and Sisodia, that's fishes. That's all just rhetoric and that's all just attention grabbing noise. That's point number one. Point number two, the Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson here has a lot to say about the achievements of the Aam Aadmi Party. My simple question is again that you say your excise policy was withdrawn for technicalities. Fair enough. A lot of policies are withdrawn for technicalities. The government wants to rethink them. They want to bring it back with improvements. My simple question is, where was this thought process before the investigation was ordered? Where was this thought process when you withdrew the excise policy less than 24 hours after the investigation was ordered? Today, you're remembering the technicalities, while before the investigation was ordered, you were hailing it as the world's best excise policy. Point number three, you point out Punjab, that the same excise policy has worked wonders in Punjab. I give it to you. But the Punjab debt, which is around 2.7 lakh crore, is not going to be served by excise policy. Where's the real plan? Because in the second month of his CMship, Bhagwant Mann was in the center asking for 50,000 crores over the next 2 years. So that still doesn't answer the question. Point number 4. Priyanka went on a long spree about what all the Aam Aadmi Party has achieved in Delhi over the last 8 years. Again, my simple point. It was Arvind Kejriwal who was absent from Delhi during the first wave and during the Delta wave when we had severe oxygen cylinder problems in Delhi. So I want to discount all the Aam Aadmi Party achievements there and then. Nevertheless, even if I were to give Priyanka the benefit of doubt, my simple question is that you say you have nothing to hide. You say you're not corrupt. You say there have been hundreds of raids and nothing has been found, no money has been found. Then this is your moment to shine for the Gujarat elections. Then this is your moment to prove that, yes, we were right about the ED raids. This is how BJP were targeting us. Please go vote out for us. This is your moment to shine. Why are you being apologetic? Why are you being rattled? That's my simple question.
Right, and I'd like Akhil Khan to take that question as well. We've seen the kind of political fireworks that have erupted over this particular case with every single arrest. Today we had the Chief Minister of Delhi, the convener of the Aam Aadmi Party, likened Satyamev Jayate and Manish Sisodia to modern day Bhagat Singhs. Satyamev Jayate has been in jail since May this year. He has been denied bail by the courts of this country.
You see, if you see the history of our political, India's political history, then you will find that nowhere in this history that you will find the ruling party has become so much worried of any particular election. And because of these things, they are doing all kind of this nonsense thing. You see, in 2018, CBI has been withdrawn with that their discretionary power to do any kind of investigation against anybody was withdrawn in 2018 because of insistence of Mr. Modi. And only when BJP will tell, then only CBI will inquire. This is the biggest setback for CBI and credibility also. Now, tell me, over the years, Bharatiya Janata Party has become Bharatiya Jhoot Party. It has become Bhrashtiya Janata Party, and now it has become Bhayankar Jhoot Party, moving towards Bhayanak Jhoot Party.
Mr. Khan, it's
and
one thing to call names to any other party, but that's really not the point of the discussion right now.
Illiterate party also now.
Mr. Khan, the point of the discussion right now is about Manish Sisodia and the excise policy. There is an FIR. He is named in the FIR. There are multiple allegations against him. Several of his associates are in jail as we speak. Several of the people that he was dealing with as the man in charge of that particular policy. If the due course of action leads to him being questioned, and if the Aam Aadmi Party and Sisodia himself feel that he is innocent, then why not face the agency? Let law take its course.
Okay. Satyamev Jayate has been put under arrest. You see, and when judge was hearing CBI's plea, the judge asked, what is the proof you have? Show us the fact. They are not able to show any kind of fact.
The court has also denied him bail for the last 4 months.
Different kind of allegations continuously.
The court has also denied him bail for the last 4 months.
Change this judge. He is not understanding. You see,
the Satyamev Jayate's counsel also wanted a change of judge.
They are trying to manipulate the court also. Please.
So that's a very big allegation that you're making. It's one thing to take pot shots at political rivals, but to question the judiciary, the same judiciary that you want to go for relief. You want relief from the same court, but when it does not go your way, you want to question the judiciary of this country. And Priyanka Thakkar, I want to get you in. It's the same court that you want, your leaders want to go to for relief. If it does not go your way, then the courts are corrupt. The courts are behaving at the behest of the BJP. Is that a right allegation to make?
Poonamji, nobody made that allegation, and it is incorrect to suggest anybody made that allegation. The allegation that even Khan Sahab was suggesting, and which is correct, is that when the court repeatedly asked ED, show us where the criminality is, they moved an application to change the judge. It is a fact. Nobody's questioning nobody's questioning the judiciary. Now, this is the ED's behavior. We are questioning ED. We are questioning ED because the conviction rate of CBI ED has been under 0.5%. So abysmal. We are questioning the agencies because there is no investigation on multiple scams which come out against the BJP government. Like I mentioned, the Gujarat liquor scam, which has been happening for ages. No agency is questioning there. How are they making? Who is making 10,000 crore? And how are people dying? Hundreds of people dying with consumption of spurious liquor. Nobody is questioning why there is no inquiry. In the Madhya Pradesh CAG report has mentioned that there is a scam under the Madhya Pradesh government or in the midday meal scam. There is no inquiry. There are 5 complaints pending on Operation Lotus that that BJP indulged in Khareed.
Right, and I see Harish Khurana smiling there, but Mr. Khurana, I want you to answer this as well. Can you deny that the conviction rate of both the CBI and the ED are not impressive?
See, my only point is they are making a lot of allegations of ED and CBI regarding Satyamev Jayate case. But till now, court has not given him the bail. Why?
I'm telling you why. Because you.
But there are questions being asked of the Enforcement Directorate as well.
Baba,
can you deny the conviction rate is supremely low as far as the Enforcement Directorate is concerned?
Let me.
That is one of the reasons why political witch hunt and vendetta is an allegation that the BJP and the agencies face today.
It's very easy to allegate anybody, but we should understand the law will take their own course. Priyanka Kakkad is allegating a lot of things about a lot of government. If you have got the proof, why don't you go in the court and say ki you have believe in the court, na? Why don't you go and you have a proof, na? Give the proof to the court that CBI is not working, ED is not working. You will not do that because your habit is just to allegate the people and run away. That's it. Your agenda.
Shoot and scoot or political vendetta. The argument, the debate over that remains as open as it gets. And even as the political war of words go on, I want to get in Mr. Umesh Sehgal. I apologize for not coming to you sooner, and you've been patiently waiting on. But you've been a former Chief Secretary of Delhi. You know the inner workings of how this exactly works. As far as this particular or this alleged scam goes, is it possible that Manish Sisodia did not know that there was something that was amiss, that there were crores of money that was moving in and around in this particular policy under his nose and he didn't know? Is it possible?
Well, it is possible. I won't say it is not possible. It is possible. The point is that there is an FIR. FIR means there is a complaint. That is all. FIR doesn't mean there is a prima facie case. Now, I think the CBI is doing the right thing. After raids in XYZ, they have examined a lot of people. Now, finally, they have a system in the CRPC that you have to examine the accused before you start arresting or you start filing the charge sheet. Now, that they are doing tomorrow, that does not mean that they have proof. What it means is that maybe prima facie, they have a few questions to ask him. And these questions answers to those questions will depend if the CBI comes to a conclusion or not. Now, the CBI is an investigating agency, so it has a right to investigate, it has a right to come to a conclusion, and it has a right to file the charge sheet. But CBI operates under the law, and they have their own systems laid down. So they have to follow their system. When it is a corruption case, they have to find out, number one, where are my assets? Have my assets gone up since I was in power, or have they gone down, or what? So raids and all are these are, you call them raids. Actually, these are not raids. These are actually inspections. Right. All you do is you inspect something, and that also with the orders of the court.
And also, he's being examined tomorrow, not necessarily being questioned.
No, he will be questioned, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he will be arrested. If the CBI comes to a conclusion, then mind you, that conclusion will have to be reached by their director. He may be a DSP or a DIG or some lower level guy would be questioning him. But it is the director himself who will decide. And mind you, director is appointed by a committee headed by the Chief Justice of India. So it is not a small committee which has appointed him. Now he is supposed to be independent. Now the arrest will be made, the charge sheet will be filed after they take his approval. So I don't think we should worry too much.
Right.
And the Aam Aadmi Party should worry too much at this stage. But prima facie, if you ask me, the excise policy was wrong. I won't say it was corrupt. I will say it was wrong, because it led to 80% increase in bottles and a 50% decrease in revenue. Any policy which your sale is more and your income goes down, and then you keep on examining examples of Punjab and Gujarat, that doesn't help you.
So there was something amiss as far as the policy is concerned, which is also why it was withdrawn based on technicalities, is what the Aam Aadmi Party concedes to. Whether or not there was a scam, whether or not there were alleged irregularities, all of that is going to be under investigation. I apologize to all my panelists because I'm running out of time and I really need to end this here. But I thank you all for joining me here the debate over that will continue even as the Aam Aadmi Party's leader and Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi faces the CBI tomorrow, and we'll be following all of that very closely. Before now, shifting focus to news coming in from Jammu and Kashmir, where protests have broken out over the death of 43-year-old Puran Krishan Bhatt, who was killed yesterday. Candlelight marches were held at several places in Kashmir Valley in the protest against the killing against Pakistan. Protests were held in Srinagar, Baramulla, Bandipur, Anantnag, Ganderbal and Shopian districts. Thousands of mourners joined Bhatt's family to not only bid him a tearful adieu, but also to demand justice for his family, to demand safety for all of those minority community members who continue to live in the Kashmir Valley.
आप देख रहे हैं कि सैकड़ों की तादाद में यहाँ पे लोग जमा हो चुके हैं और इस कत्ल के खिलाफ यहाँ पे कैंडल मार्च निकाला गया और उसके बाद पुरअमन एहतजाज यहाँ पे किया गया है, क्योंकि इस एहतजाज के ज़रिए यही मैसेज देना चाहता है कि पूरी दुनिया में ये मैसेज आए कि यहाँ पे जो है पुरअमन लोग रहते हैं और किसी के भी आम कत्ल के खिलाफ जो है लोग यहाँ पे खड़े हुए हैं। यहाँ पे मुलाजिम जो है डिस्ट्रिक्ट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के बड़े अधिकारी, छोटे अधिकारी, तमाम डॉक्टर हो, इंजीनियर हो, सारे लोग यहाँ पे आए हैं और इस पुरअमन एहतजाज में शिरकत कर रहे हैं। और इनका भी यही कहना है कि यहाँ पे आज जो हम ये मैसेज आम करना चाहते हैं, हम जो है सिविलियन किलिंग के खिलाफ हम बिल्कुल एकजुट होकर खड़े हुए हैं और आइंदा इस तरह की किलिंग हम नहीं चाहते हैं, चाहे पंडित हो, मुसलमान हो, सिख हो या ईसाई। यही एक पैगाम है, क्योंकि कश्मीर की कौम है, एक पुरअमन कौम है और ये पुरअमन कौम यही शुपियान से संदेश दे रही है कि हमें किसी भी तरह इस तरह के जो है वारदात मंजूर नहीं है।
Shifting focus now to news coming in from the Congress camp, and it is polling day tomorrow as far as the Congress's presidential elections go. The candidate Shashi Tharoor has now made a final appeal on his social media to Congress workers. So listen in to what he had to say.
So this is it. Tomorrow morning, many of you are going to wake up to a day where probably for the first time in all your years as a loyal congressman or woman, you will have the opportunity to choose the president of your party. Look, by now I'm guessing you already know about my 10-point plan. You already know that I hope to decentralize the party. You already know that I want to make the party more inclusive and modern. Yet from the several conversations I've had over the last few days, I gather that many of you have not still made up your minds. I recognize that while my message of decentralization, inclusion and modernization might appeal to you, you still have concerns or even hesitation about change. In any organization of our size and scale, it is natural to have concerns around change, and I wanted to address it directly today. As I see it, the Congress Party has endured as the important force in Indian politics because time and time again, when the situation demanded it, the Congress Party was willing to embrace change.
It's D-Day tomorrow as far as the Tharoor versus Kharge fight is concerned, and CNN News 18 will be getting all of the developments on that for you. For now, it's a wrap from me on this edition. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Question remains, why these innocent people, they are being killed, they are being maimed by the terrorist every single day. This person, he survived by 2 little children, his wife, and the pain in the eyes of his children is quite visible. They are unable to understand what tragedy has befallen the family. They are numb, they are unable to speak. While News 18, Jammu, Kashmir, Ladakh, Himachal reporters wanted to talk to the children, they have no idea what sort of tragedy has befallen the family, that they have lost their father. Only they have been crying, looking towards the body, mortal remains of their father. The younger son was crying, was asking father to get up. Why he questioning his mother, why the father is not getting up. So this is the human tragedy which the terrorists don't understand. They work on behest of Pakistan. They are given a gun and they carry out these selective assassinations in Kashmir Valley without knowing the impact that these type of killings have on the entire family. If you remember last time when we spoke to Rajkumar, whose wife Rajni Bala was gunned down by the terrorists. When we asked him, he said that the terrorists think that they have killed only one individual, but it is the entire family that gets killed by the terrorists. The entire family suffers for the entire life, because they remember they miss the kith and kin who are being gunned down, and today there is large scale resentment again among the people. Here you can see in the cremation ground people from different walks of life, irrespective whether they are Kashmiri pundits, whether they are Dogras, whether they are Muslims, whether they are Sikhs. All of them have gathered to show their solidarity and support for the grieving family of Puran Krishan Bhatt.
We are following the funeral procession of Puran Krishan Bhatt, a Kashmiri Pandit who lost his life in the valley. So Jammu seeing red once again, and the blood-stained landscape of Jammu has yet another life lost to it. This seems to be a targeted killing of a Kashmiri Pandit by militants, and as we've seen, that's become a pattern in these killings. The militants have not been apprehended yet, but a Kashmiri freedom fighters group has taken responsibility for this killing. They're a proxy group, and the police firmly believe, and the authorities believe, that there's a larger group that has put it as its front, as its facade. It could be the Jaish, it could be other Lashkar, and they believe that Pakistan and the ISI definitely have a hand to play. But the people there who have gathered, the friends, the family and the locals have some very big and unresolved questions there. In fact, there was some sloganeering as well at the funeral, which is being attended by all these members of not just the family but the entire community, with not grief, not just support, but anger as well, because with all the reassurances that they've been receiving from the center, in fact the situation has turned even more dangerous for them since 2019. Going across to my colleague Tejinder Singh Sodhi, who brings us those questions that are being asked by the locals. Tejinder, there was a sense of feeling that the situation for Kashmiri Pandits would improve. Their plight was being highlighted by our movies, it was being highlighted by the centre, but the promise by that centre has been unresolved, it has been unfulfilled with this continued killing of the Pandits in the valley.
Yes, these are the exact questions which the Kashmiri Pandit community has been asking. They are saying that they are the one who are the flag bearers of the country, but still they feel that somewhere the country has.
Hello and welcome to Sensational South. I'm Harish Upadhyay. Over the next 30 minutes, we bring you all the major news and newsmakers from South India. Our top story today comes from Karnataka, where the Supreme Court this week delivered a split verdict in the hijab matter. While one judge upheld the Karnataka High Court order banning the hijab in schools and colleges, on the other, the second judge said that asking girls to remove hijab while going to colleges and schools is an attack on their dignity. So what does this verdict mean for the hijab matter, which has been rocking the state for the last 10 months or so? We'll debate that, but first the report.
There is no end to the hangama over hijab. 7 months after the Karnataka High Court upheld a government order banning hijab in educational institutes. Petitions challenging the hijab ban led to a split verdict in the Supreme Court. While one judge, Justice Hemant Gupta, dismissed the petitions, the other judge, Justice Sudhanshu Dhulia, was of a differing opinion. He said asking girls to take off their hijab is an attack on their privacy and dignity. He said that under the Indian constitutional scheme, wearing a hijab should be simply a matter of choice. It may or may not be a matter of essential religious practice, but it is still a matter of conscience, belief and expression. He said the government order and restrictions on hijab goes against value of fraternity and human dignity. The case has also to be seen in the perspective of the challenges already faced by a girl child in reaching her school.